parliamentarians already have that in place, and we can just use their format to do it. Because when I spoke to Tom, he told me about community board number 3, and he said and they were a little more involved. They had several people, up to 5 people running for the same position. So it literally took them like 3 hours to conduct just the election. I don't think we're going to have that same problem, but um, I just think that it's better if, and it's cleaner for all of us if somebody else observes it that's more knowledgeable about it, and then can tabulate the votes. Because I don't want to have to pay for a website service that we're only going to use once a year.
Right, and that's what was told to me, that wasn't really necessary. This order could be ordered. To have to do that, to pay for a site that you're probably only going to use once. Or this order first. I spoke to Andy as well. Whatever sort of here to take it. I was told about a bundle of double cheeseburger and small fries. Fries for 6-piece chicken McNuggets and small fries for only $3. John, is that you?
Okay, good.
I spoke. I was told about a board meeting that went pretty long. It may be the same one that you talked about. They went into like 11:30 at night, trying to get it done. And I don't really want any part of it. I don't think any of us do. So right now, that's the way that we look. That's what we're looking at to conduct it like that. I was reading up that there were 2 options that the parliamentarians gave for the election. One was to amend the bylaws and postpone the election until after the emergency pandemic, and option 2 was to just amend the bylaws to allow for another means of voting, which is what we're doing now, and either telephonically or what we have here, Zoom video conference, whatever, WebEx, Microsoft Teams. You get my point. So, does anyone have anything to say about that?
No, the question, I'm sorry, this is Egeria speaking. The question I have is, how does one submit the names for nomination? Do they do that now, between now and say October's meeting, or what?
You mean if they want to nominate from the floor?
Yeah,
that can be done on Thursday.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's it.
Well, it can be done anytime now as well. I think you can just they can just email you if they have nominations, right?
Well, I've got emails from the persons that are running, the 2 that I have so far.
Okay.
But if anybody else wanted to send an email, if they wanted to run, that we're open to that too. But I have received. Well, I received 3 emails. 4 emails, 2 resignations and 2 running. Yes, Ursula.
I sent out an email asking anybody if they was interested in running.
Yeah, and I only
get notify.
So that's 5. Because only 1 person responded to that I got.
Yeah.
Only 1.
So that's that.
When was that sent? When did you send that out, Ursula?
I'm gonna look it up.
Now, so Clint, how do you say we plan to conduct the actual vote?
Well, what we were gonna do is everyone vote. Inspire his or try to explain to persons. This is right now. This is what we're thinking right now. I'm thinking right now. Everyone vote for each position, but do it in the chat to me privately. Do it in the chat privately. Like you click on my name. We put the vote up there. Let's say we're voting for chair, right? you Teddy, you wanna vote for him or you wanna vote for somebody else, and you go to the chat and you put it to me privately in the chat. I'm gonna capture all of it and paste it to a document. I'm gonna paste the whole chat to a document. All the votes, I'm gonna paste it to a document. You understand what I mean?
I understand, but I can see problems with that.
Okay, talk about it.
Um, why can't we just conduct a vote by the regular like how we do the roll call? So you as the chair, you just call everybody who is on the line, and they respond to their name.
Okay.
It's not a it's not a secret ballot, right?
Not a secret, but some people don't like to have who they're voting for out in the public. That's why I chose the chat feature.
Okay.
Everybody doesn't want everybody to know who they're voting for.
Yeah, I can see that too.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret ballot, but everybody doesn't always want to tell everybody who they're voting for.
Ursula has something to say.
Okay, so I sent an email out September the 2nd at 7:09 p.m.
Thanks, Ursula. I'm going to look it up because I may have missed it.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying, Ted?
Yes, I do, and I see your point. I see your point as well.
So, anyone else?
Yeah, Clinton, I was just going to say that if the preference is to use Zoom, we can do that. I can accommodate that as well. Because we have Zoom. I just use WebEx because the city wants us using this. They either want us using GoTo meetings or they want us using WebEx. But we did pay for Zoom, so we can use Zoom as well.
Okay.
The choice is yours.
Okay. All right. I mean, talking to Andy, he said it, and I believe the same thing, that the ease of use is a little more to me. Sometimes can be a little complicated.
I think more people are familiar and maybe more familiar with Zoom. Actually, might be using Zoom for other things.
I'll let you know later, but I would probably rather go with the Zoom. But I just hope it doesn't cause any type of problems to switch over.
In 1803, this
I'm talking about for you. I'm talking about for the board.
river in
I
Paris.
don't want to confuse anybody. You know.
Who is?
So that's that.
So, Clint, I'm gonna try to send you a test message now on the private chat, just to see how this would work.
Too, this author began a passionate love affair in Paris with Anais Nin that would last.
Anyone else? While he's texting me, I'm sending him chat message.
Tyler Hiroshima. It's Henry Miller.
And as far as the
In 1956, the International Criminal Police Commission got this
resignation letter from
your name. Interpol. Yes.
from Lisa Hayes from her secretary position, and I received the resignation letter from Mr. Hall. We want to thank both of them for their service. The Hall has been on the board for 32 years, and for personal and professional reasons, he's now decided to step down effective September 30th. Okay?
Did you say Lisa is stepping down?
Lisa has stepped down from secretary, yes.
We remember we had a conversation about that in our last meeting.
Right. Lisa has stepped down from secretary. So right now there's only two persons running: John Isaac for second vice chair, and Michael Burke for chair.
So I guess I will just follow through on what we had discussed then, Clint.
Okay.
So I sent that text. I don't know if everybody can see it or just you alone can see it.
I got it.
Can anybody else see it?
No, because it's going. It says from Ted to Clinton privately,
Okay.
7:21 p.m. And that's the feature that I want used. But we'll just have to explain
Okay.
to people.
I see. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it works.
Yes. Okay. So, like I said, Lisa and Mr. Hall resigned, and that's that. So, if there are any other questions, I don't want to prolong this. We're gonna try to do it via Zoom. That's. Does anyone?
I think, Clinton, the only concern that I would have if we're doing it that way is people who are on the phone, I'm not sure have access to the chat function.
No,
And
they don't. Either way.
oh, okay.
They don't have it. So I don't know if they're going to want to say their vote out loud because
Well, that was going to be my second question. I think everybody has to vote, right? Like if you every board member that's there, even if they don't want to, because I recall that was an issue last time we did this with Tom. There were two board members that didn't vote, and therefore it was two or three board members that didn't vote, and we kept getting ties. For like Felix for treasurer, for example.
Right. We did.
Yeah. So we have to ensure that everybody who's a board member can vote, and then we have to ensure, for example, people who are board members that are participating via phone. I know that Johnny Goff has done that in the past, and Barbara Gibson. We have to tag them, and there's a feature. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you, as the host on Zoom, you could rename the phone number. So if you see the phone number like 347-680, which is my number, you can there's three dots, I think, and you can just rename them, George. And then, so.
Just to know who it is.
Yeah, just to know who it is, and then, do it that way. So I'll try and figure, you and I can work on that for next month ahead of it, just so that we work out all the kinks.
3 dots. You click on the 3 dots, and then you can rename.
Okay.
I mean, I know you can do that when you're on Zoom, but I guess as the host, you can also you'll be able to do that as host.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, let me say this. Last year, we had a board member that voted for, I guess they couldn't make up their mind. So they voted for the two people that was running. Please explain to them, you only can vote for one person. So say me and you were running. I guess that person couldn't make up their mind, so they voted for both of us. Mm-hmm. Let people know they can only vote for one person for that particular position.
Okay, let me put that in my notes. You can say that.
So we currently have what, 46 members? And if we have 46 members,
we're 41.
41. We're down to 41.
Yeah, we lost. That's 41, not counting Dr. Hall. So if Dr. Hall is officially off the board September 30th. So technically, for this election, he will still be a board member. Well, no, I'm sorry, because that'll be in October. So yeah, we'll go down to 40. But when I spoke to Tom and Ursula, you got to brace yourself. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna appoint 8 to 9 members, so you'll have 50. You'll have either 49 or 50 members." But my understanding from Tom is that he's not going to do that until after the election, so that it doesn't become too confusing. Because last year he appointed, I think we got 3 new board members, and they're the ones who kind of didn't want to vote because they didn't know who was who, and that's what kept messing us up.
Okay.
So for the election, we'll have 40 board members.
And I'm pretty sure this question might have been asked already or looked at before, but why is it that every board member cannot be on Zoom or let's stick with Zoom?
Some don't have the technology.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody has a cell phone.
Some don't know how to use their cell phone.
Well, and that's why we should be reaching out to those people. I mean, it's something as important as this, just to be on this committee. You can't tell me in this day and age that somebody don't know how to don't want to use the technology. I mean, it's your obligation to be on the board, um, and it's your obligation to attend meetings. And if this is the way that we are doing our meetings, you got to make yourself available.
I know of at least one board member that doesn't have a smartphone. So
What?
they have a phone, but it's not a smartphone.
Yeah.
So Dr. Burke reached out to some people that are not computer savvy, and a couple of people are going to the board Thursday night. So we'll see what happens.
They're gonna come into the office.
Yeah, that was an option as well.
And I also thought about a teleconference feature for those that didn't want to say their vote out loud over the Zoom or the WebEx. Maybe they can come off of that and then call into teleconference and give their vote there. I'm just reaching.
Because the way I'm looking at, I mean, based on some of our meetings, I don't think we probably had more than 30 board members. We may have had other members, other people on the calls, but certainly not more than 30 board members. And if we're up to 40, I'm wondering if we're going to be able to even have a proper election to have 20 people voting.
That's also something that has to be thought about. People have to show up.
Yep.
Well, so with only 40 board members, 21 makes a quorum, right?
Yeah.
So that makes it easier for us because technically we do have 23 to 25 board members that show up on a consistent basis. So I think we should have a quorum for our election. I just Dr. Banks is on the chat function said one of the suggestions might be on Zoom. You can actually make the board members panelists, and then everybody else a guest. But I would. Oh, you phone, and then she's also stating that on the phone you can dial 9 to vote. I was unaware of that, and actually, I'm going to try that now. So I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to dial in and see how to do all that.
That's on Zoom or WebEx, she said, Dr. Banks said.
This is on. That's right. This is. She's participating via phone right now, Dr. Banks. But she's saying that this is for Zoom. But I'm gonna try it now. We're on WebEx now, so. But I'm gonna try it anyway. I'm gonna use. I'm gonna dial in.
Anyone have anything else?
We can return. You want to come? Let me mute it.
You're in, George?
Go ahead.
Darling.
So,
I'm trying to figure this out. It's because it's on my phone and I actually have this app on my phone. It's like I'm gonna dial in. 1646 992 2010.
Clint, I just sent you a text.
All right, all right.
Send it to me, Ted? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Is that sufficient, or you need something else?
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to, email me, you could too. But
All right, I muted myself on my phone. I'm doing *9 now. I guess I can. Testing it.
try #9.
Dr. Banks, can you unmute yourself and
It's Dr.
explain this to us? How to vote from the phone?
Okay, my background is super loud. I'm so sorry about that. Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
So on you guys are going to use Zoom or WebEx for the voting app.
So I think, as Clinton was saying, it's going to be easier to use Zoom, so I'll use Zoom.
Okay, so when you use Zoom, the keys are *9, *6. I just realized that we're actually on WebEx. I get them interchanged sometimes. I don't remember what platform. But WebEx, I'm not sure what the what you call it is, but if the person clicks use call via the internet, if they click that button when they dial in, it will show a panel at the bottom of their screen, and the panel will ask them to raise their hand. So they have the function that way. But if they call in and then say they want to use their mobile device to call, then they're not going to get that function, and they actually have to use the keypads. I don't know what the keypads are, but I do know for Zoom, it's #6 and #9.
Okay. Okay.
So for #6 and #9, they can enter a vote.
Yeah, so if you put up so there's several ways you can do it from the Zoom platform.
Mm-hmm.
You can create a poll, and when you create a poll, the person will press *6 or *9, whatever the Zoom is telling them to dictate. If you're voting by hands, by a show of raised hands, and you're actually
I see.
then
I see.
they will dial #6 and they will raise their hand, and then you would count those from there.
So #6 would be raise your hand.
Right, it's either #6 or #9.
Okay.
And that's on Zoom. And the thing is, only the host will see the raised hands from those calling from the cell phones.
That's good. I didn't realize that.
Look, I'm looking to do some
All right.
research.
Yeah, we can play with that, Clinton.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Dr. Banks.
So, does anyone have anything else? Because that's really about it for me. Anybody? So the official vote is going to take place in November, October, right, George? Right. So Thursday we're just going to basically be trying to get the candidates and whoever's running.
Yeah, I mean, we could take floor nominations, and I'm hesitant to say this, but Ursula did it last time. So they've eased the restrictions for in-person meetings. Right now, we can get up to 25 people, but all of you should know that they're using our carriage house now as a COVID-19. So we've lost use of that really big space. We still have the small conference room, and we have Ursula's. That's a big office, and we also have the lobby. So I'm thinking, Ursula, we have cameras. We can set up the camera, and if we had 10 board members that were uncomfortable with this and wanted to be in person so that they could vote in person, I could print out ballots. So Clinton, if we knew all the candidates running because we had the floor nominations this Thursday night, we could print out a ballot for in-person voting in addition to the virtual stuff. And then whatever we did in person, like I could drop it off to your house that night or the next morning, and then you could tabulate it and we could do it that way. Or, I mean, we could just, we can have a conversation during the meeting or, on the phone and just say, this is what we got in person. And then you got whatever you got in the chat function. And then we could vote that way as well.
Right. Well, I mean, since we're not doing the actual vote, the floor nominations will close on Thursday.
Yeah, but then that means I can print.
Right.
Like, let's just say I can print the ballot for the October meeting.
Right.
And then that way, so whoever doesn't is uncomfortable and wants to be in the office to do in person will have printouts for them.
Say their vote out loud or whatever.
Yeah, well, like we did it last time. We hand it to everybody individually. They vote. They have to sign the piece of paper because these votes are how do you call it? They're foilable. So they have to sign that this is how they voted. And then that's it. And technically, Clinton, I could print out 40 ballots for you too, so that at home, while you're tabulating it on the chat, you can actually write it down on the ballot itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we do everything tonight, with the exception if we do everything Thursday night, with the exception of the actual vote, by October, we'll know who the candidates are going to be. I'll have all the printouts for you, for chair, for all our executive officers, and then you'll have it.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah. And then whoever's uncomfortable and wants to come into the office, we could do it that way too.
So
John, I like the idea that you're making the office available, at least for those who are quote unquote technology challenged. They at least would have an option to come to the office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be a full board meeting because we have 40 people, so I can't have 40 people.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm not coming to the office. I said those who are technology challenged. So I won't be coming to the office.
Since the ballots will be printed, those that don't want, could they come into the office? I mean, I don't know who's there and what time people are at the office, but if they want to come pick up their ballot and leave it there or something like that, or just take it and have it, they can throw it out there that day and put it away. I'm just.
I would be hesitant to do anything outside of a public forum.
Okay.
So because we're doing this now, like in a public setting. And that's the other thing. There has to be, even for Thursday, let's say we have people come into the office. The reason that we've not done in-person meetings, even though there is you can get up to 25 people in a public space, you have to make accommodations for the public at large. So, like, if somebody comes in off the street and says, "Oh, I want to participate," I have to technically allow them to do that. Like, so whether they're sitting in the lobby or sitting in Ursula's office or sitting with the other board members, we have to make accommodations.
It still has to be limited to 25 and
Yeah, and it's exactly, it still has to be limited to 25. So
and all that.
number 26, I have to keep out. And then we have to be socially distant within the office as well. So I have to, space people six. I have to put the chairs. We won't even have room for tables, you know.
So
So
if we're not voting on Thursday, there really need for people to come into the office unless they just want to hear the meeting.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, if we're not voting on Thursday, is there a need for anyone to really come into the office?
Oh yeah, no. This would be for October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really don't need for this week.
Yeah.
Unless Ursa just wants some company.
No, but remember, we still have those who are there those who cannot attend the meeting via phone or WebEx or Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for Ursula. You may have 2 or 3 board members that do come in on Thursday, right?
I think I got 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need some company.
I got Hunter is enough. I don't need no more company.
Hey, so
Yeah.
that's all I have.
And there's a lot of stuff on the chat here. I don't know if you want to address it, Clinton. What's the criteria for being a board member? Dr. Banks has a question about making sure people are wearing their mask and stuff like that when we're in indoor settings, because we want everybody to be safe. And yeah, and Dr. Banks, to your last point, we did. Dr. Burke, our acting chairman, actually did a what do you call it? Actually, no, it was John, right? You called everybody, John, to make sure to see if if they had issues technologically, which is why I think Ursula has volunteered to come in. But you can speak to it, John. Go ahead.
No, I think there were only like about 6 people, so I think we're good.
Okay.
I even asked like Norbert if he want to come by, and he could partake here with me if he wanted to, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, identifying the I saw in the chat, identifying those that maybe technologically, we can do that. I think for the most part, we probably know who most of them are. Because it's basically probably the ones that are on the phone.
Okay. Anything is possible. Wow.
We try to teach them on Thursday. We can talk to them about it. So I'll try to do that.
Yeah, John, you have the 6 board members, right?
Yes, I had. There was a report. I gotta go to the report and find out.
Okay. But so we can share between now and October. I mean, I'm not the one to give a tutorial. I'm not necessarily the expert on this, but we can find ways to help people. And if not, we can get those board members, because it's not just being technologically challenged. Yesterday, we saw, as an example, Dr. Burke had some connectivity issues and he had a lot of lag. So there's going to be concern that way as well.
Okay.
That was a problem.
Yeah.
That's why I had to leave and come back. Sure, someone's grandson or granddaughter may have a tablet now. They may have there are some board members who do get they get help from their children or grandchildren, some of them, but I guess everybody doesn't have that, or they may not be available at the time. But yeah, that's it for me. You waving already? I ain't say the meeting was over. I just said that's it.
I'm sorry, I never addressed Donna's question. To be a board member, I think there's only two criteria, right, Urs? You have to live in the district or you have to work in the district.
Yeah.
Yeah, so appointments are made by the borough president,
City council.
and it's proportional to the council district. So, for example, a majority of our members are appointed by 25 appointed by the borough president. I think 18, the remainder 18 are appointed by Andy King, and then 4 or 6, or I don't know how to add, are appointed by Andy Cohen, because that's who covers our district, and it's proportional to, like, Andy Cohen just covers Wakefield and Woodlawn, and Andy King covers everything else. So Richie Torres has us, but he doesn't have an appointment, and Mark Jonai has us, but he also doesn't have an appointment. So that's how you become a board member. The applications are on the borough president's website. Okay, Donna? I'm done, Clinton.
Okay. So is that it? Anybody else have anything before we go? No? Ajeria? John? Teddy?
So, we do have a meeting on Thursday, right?
Yes, we do. Full board
Let's
meeting
see.
on Thursday.
I'm not. I know I have the link, but it's not on my calendar. All right, just want to confirm that.
Miss Donna White, thank you
I
for
think there's
coming.
a library committee meeting tomorrow as well.
Yes, 7 o'clock. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Right.
Hi.
Good night, all.
Good night.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
George, I'll reach out to you tomorrow.
All right, cool. We'll talk.
I'm gonna try to do some research tonight on this Zoom thing.
All right, and I'll be in the office tomorrow if you want to swing through, or whatever.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I go to the country to help out, and then I'll try to come.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right. Good night, Ajeria.
Night.
Night. Good night, Clinton.